receiving about 13,000 a month.
Transfer.
But that's what we've been receiving from transfers. Now, we've already paid the employees, they've been paid. That 13,000 a month for the next 4 months would give us roughly fifty to $60,000 that's due to us, and transfers should pay. So that's the first thing. That would give us in 4 months $50,000 to $60,000.
Can I ask a question about what kind of income we've had from those transfers in that period?
But we're only getting about 13,000 a month.
And we're paying about
12,
a month?
yeah, out on, so it's not really a huge income.
You know, we're making some, but I think the problem we have right now is cash flow.
Right.
And if we can stop the hemorrhage draining out of the blood bank
Right.
and receive what is in the pipeline and get everything caught up, then we can consider easing back into it with some tight fiscal policies where we make sure, and David was working on getting a contract where we would get some guarantees, and I think that's a wonderful thing, and we may be able to ease back into that in the future, but right now, the outgo has to stop, and the inflow that's in the pipeline should help get us our heads back above
So
water.
where will that save us money, I mean, as far as
Well,
Payroll.
just the payroll?
And
Well-
wear and tear.
So are we gonna let people go, or
The,
what's?
the ones we use are part-time. We have 2 full-time people that are out. We can use those part-time people to help cover that. I know it's not gonna, because, you know, there's an adjustments and stuff. But I'm suggesting that we use those part-time people to fill those 2 full-time positions as
So
a,
the third ambulance then will be the one that's mothballed, I mean, so to speak,
well,
so,
pretty much, yeah.
so is there a heart monitor on that
There-
ambulance?
There's one heart, that's another point I'm gonna bring up.
That's a paid for.
Yeah, it's paid off. The spending, I went through basically just the meds, well, actually all the spending, but the Boundtree, mostly everything we get from Boundtree, right?
Yes.
Boundtree was running about $1,200 to $1,300 per month. Now, me personally, I think that's a lot. You know, those are on meds that are used, are medications, bandages, all your supplies from Boundtree, and I came up with about $1,200 a month.
Now, is that just on the transfers, or is that total?
That's total.
Total, okay.
And that seems like a lot of money to me. I mean, I walked in the other day and I saw, I don't know if it was a mistake or what, because I never talked to anybody. I saw a whole full case of cold packs. And there was 6 boxes in this case, which carrying 24. It was like 150 cold packs. To me, that's an awful lot of cold packs. I don't think I've ever used more than 10 a year.
I don't know where you saw that at.
It was sitting on the,
I think you may have just been seeing a box that maybe they packaged the stuff in, but we didn't order no
well, there
6
was, I
cases
pulled
of
them
ice
out.
packs.
I pulled them out and there was the whole case. Unless they had other stuff in those little boxes, unless they're for the fire department, but I thought I could have sworn it said ESD 3.
I
I
don't know
don't
what you're
use
talking
that's
about.
why I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
It's news to me, first I'm hearing of it.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I saw, so. But I think there needs to be more. I mean, to me, that's a lot of money in supplies for the amount of calls we do a month. I mean, we're only doing, even with the transfers, only doing 60 to 70 calls a month. And that seems like a lot of money in supplies.
And see, now, I'm there again on that part of it. I can tell you, I'll have to trust that y'all do that, because I don't know what supplies should run for an ambulance a month, or,
Well, to be honest, we spend, nowadays, we're, annually, we spend, what we spend in supplies is what we were spending 5 years ago.
Oh.
We haven't gone up with it, I mean, we budgeted $22,000 or $23,000 last year for supplies, and we only spent 18. I mean, if you ask me about the supply, I think the supply we have greatly reduced the amount of supply that we use, and, you know, even as far as the stuff that gets discarded. Yes, you have those medications that expire, but that $1,200 that you see every month, that's not for medications. Yes, some of it may be for, but a lot of it is for the stuff that we use on the trucks. You know, we ran 825 calls last year. Yes, that includes transfers and 911, but,
I just still think I think it, you know,
well, it's,
I mean, I know it's not easy, and I know, but
what do you think it ought to run a month, Carlos?
about half, about 6.
it didn't even run that during Stockdale days.
Well, I don't know that any of us knows what it ought to run
Well, that's
exactly,
my
but
feeling.
what I'm saying is right now, while we're in this cash flow crisis, we need to be as conservative as we can on what we order, and if we can stock a half dozen less of something and still feel confident that we can have enough, then for a little while, let's tighten up on inventory and try to cut this outgo as much as possible without jeopardizing patient care. We don't wanna pinch a penny until we can't put a Band-Aid on somebody, but.
Yeah, I don't either,
But
but,
we've got to get the expense, the hemorrhage stopped.
Does that figure include medications you're saying though? We don't
Well-
have a lot of wiggle room.
Well, but here's the thing, with the medication.
well, the medications, that's another issue. I've talked to some medics, and they feel we carry too many medications here. I mean, I can take a whole list and.
How many do we carry?
I mean, to me, there's some medications on there that do the same thing as the other medication.
The problem that we have faced, reason why we carry some, you can call them duplicates, you can call them whatever you wanna call them. For example, paralytics. Yeah, we carry 2 paralytics, 3 paralytics, but the reason being is because like currently, right now, 2 of them are on nationwide back order, so we only have access to 1 of them. That's the reason why we have 3 that's on our supply list.
I mean, but what Eddie was saying is, we gotta tighten up. I know, yeah, I'd love to carry everything that you want, but,
We don't carry everything.
I mean, and the other thing you need to look at, how often do you use them? I mean, if you're using them once every 6 months, or we're throwing them away every year,
I'm listening, whatever you wanna do.
I
We can
have-
go to a BLS truck.
okay, let's not,
No, I'm just saying, we
Yeah,
can go to a
no.
BLS truck for, you know, a period of time. But
no,
I've put together the protocols, okay, and you're sitting here asking me, and I'm telling you, this is what.
well, going to a BLS truck is not gonna do it. We need to just cut back. I mean, let's go back to the essentials of what we need for full arrest, what we need for respiratory, what we need for anaphylactics.
And my response to you is we do. That's what we have. We don't carry any extravagant stuff.
I have confidence in David's judgment on that particular thing, or maybe have
I mean,
a conference with Dr. Courier.
We've had
on
this
medication.
conversation in the office, and I've told y'all, we don't carry bukus of stuff. We've gone through on the trucks, and we don't carry enough stuff on the truck to run 10 calls. We have enough stuff on the trucks to run 2 calls, maybe 3, depending upon what the call's for. There's not a whole bunch we carry 4 IV bags on the truck. You know, back in the Stockdale days, we were carrying enough to run 10 calls if we needed to.
And I understand too, if we cut back to 1 truck, you may have to treat 3 patients out of all the supplies on 1 truck too. So you gotta have enough to do that. I just say if at all possible, defer for a period, the next 90 days, defer ordering if you don't absolutely have to, and until we get some money coming in.
I noticed here that this 1 month, this is about $700 in medical equipment, medical supplies. But the total for last year was posted was about $26,000.
So much?
26,000.
For what?
It's medical equipment, maybe the maintenance I shouldn't have on there, medical supplies.
Where were you getting that number from?
It's on profit and loss from October to September. It must be it's October, last month, October. It's the year-to-date for the, so it looks like this is actually a pretty small month.
It is, because we've reduced.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, and I guess my next question was,
18,451 last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
is there,
budgeted 25.
do you have upcoming purchases that you know are coming down the pike?
No.
Because this looks like a fairly small month.
No, there is nothing.
Okay, that was the question.
We do inventory on every single thing once a month. And when I say every single thing, I'm talking every truck. And we only order those things that are expiring that month. We don't order something that's expiring next month or the next month.
So we don't have
in
something to
stock,
look forward
so
to
that way
next
it's
month or
there.
the month after.
We order as we need it, we order it. Because our vendor usually is pretty good about having it to us the next day. We don't carry poo-poos of stuff. Now, the ice pack thing, I ain't got a clue what you're talking about.
I know it was a big, I mean, unless I was
you know,
imagining things, you know, my brain's been rattled lately.
Because, you know, I know that there was a supply order that was just placed here recently, I approved it, but I assure you, there was no 6 cases of ice packs that were in there.
Somewhere in the place.
Could have been a shipping error.
Could have been a shipping error, it might have gone back. Okay,
So does this indicate that we had $1,900 this month?
For what?
In medical supply?
No, not this month. That's
That's actual this year, we only have one.
for October. We're in November.
Right, but for October, we had $1,900 in supplies.
Yes. But here's the other thing to that. Let me just throw this out there. Boundtree, you know, you order $1,000 worth of stuff today, that doesn't mean you're gonna have $1,000 invoice at the end of the month. If they have stuff that's on back order, if they have stuff that, you know, they invoice as they should,
As this
okay? So that
Oh,
$1,900.
so some of that could have come
That could have
back
been a $600 order from
from-
6 months ago.
from last year's budget?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
And to be honest with you, it gets very annoying whenever you start getting a $1 invoice from them or a $50 invoice from them, and you're like, where did this come from? And so you have to go back and look at your POs.
I have a question, if you get a back order from 6 months ago, but you've had to order something in the meantime to, like you were saying, we have 3 different types of one thing, you can return that, right? You can tell them you don't want it anymore and you can just give it.
Cancel.
But typically, if one don't have it, the other one's not gonna have it, such as your medications. I mean, we've had a very hard struggle with getting medications, this go around,
everybody has.
so.
Somebody told me that probably 70% of our total medications are generated in Puerto Rico, and that's,
Not fixing to say, it's just fixing to get a whole lot worse, I'm sure.
But I'm not dismissing the medication or whatever else. You wanna sit down, we can talk about it, we can, and that, you know, didn't mean no disrespect when I said we can drop down to BLS, but I'm being serious. You know, we start dropping
Well,
one
see,
thing.
You need to explain to everybody what a BLS truck is, that's kinda like this little deal right here, and tell everybody what a BLS truck is.
Well, my thing is, you know, we drop this, what are we gonna drop next? You know what I mean? That's just like, you know.
Well, it's not a matter of just dropping this, dropping that, we're still gonna maintain ALS or better because that's our requirement.
Well, but I do have something else to talk about as far as that PRN thing that you're talking about there. And we talked about this the other day.
What line item are we on? I'm so, are we still on pay bills?
We're not really on a line item, we just.
I don't know how to write my minutes and I don't,
this is a shotgun meeting instead of a
just
precision
write
rifle
wherever it
shot.
falls? Okay,
Yeah.
Well, I just want some clarification, okay?
okay.
So you're saying we're not gonna hire any more full-time positions?
We can't afford it. Where are you gonna pay them? I'm looking at, right now, we schedule our full-time for, 48 hours a week. They get paid 8 hours of overtime every week.
I understand.
And that's 8 hours. If I can put 2 part-timers in that full-time position, yes, it's not easy. I know it's not easy, don't get me wrong. But that's gonna save 8 hours of overtime every week, which multiplies into a big hunk of money at the end of the year.
And I'm fine with that, but here's the thing, okay? I just wanna throw it out there, and I wanna make sure y'all are all aware of it, and you all approve it. There may come a day, there may come several days, to where you're gonna run a basic truck out of this station. And as long as you guys are all okay with that, and you're signing off on that, that is fine. But that is y'all's decision.
Basically, you're talking about running a truck.
Because we had this
like it's
conversation
running.
the other day, and I've told y'all that it's happened twice now, to where we relied on PRN staff to staff those full-time openings, and they got us a BLS truck because we didn't have any paramedics ever available to staff that full-time truck.
Now,
Well-
when y'all are saying it's required by law,
No,
required by ourselves,
Required by this district.
by this district, that's what the district says we're
Well,
required to have.
it's what we've always shot for.
I'm not asking shot for, I'm talking about required,
Well, you.
legally required.
No, it's not
Okay,
legal.
there's a difference in being required.
All of our
legally.
trucks are certified BLS
Right.
with ALS capability.
That part of it's not a problem.
Right,
It's just, we've put out there all these years now that we run 24/7 paramedics. And I want you to know, and I want you to be aware that if we do this, you're gonna be sending a truck out occasionally that may just be a BLS truck, a basic truck.
Well, we put out all the years that we were doing fine too, and we just ain't doing fine.
This FRO agreement, doesn't it have a requirement that we, no? Okay. And we don't have any contracts with anybody that requires we always have an ALS.
No, we don't have, no.
The problem is we've set the bar and we've set the expectation that when you call ESD 3, you're gonna get
The best,
the best.
yeah.
And if we go out there with a basic life support truck, that's what BLS is, basic life support, and it happens to be a cardiac arrest, there won't be any drug administration and there won't be any endotracheal intubation and those skills that we need. Then we really look bad.
Well,
Not
I'd
to
say what
mention,
people think,
not
you
to
gotta
mention the
tax
more
you for it.
important thing that somebody may not survive.
And this, as we're asking for a raise in our taxes.
yeah.
Well,
that's what
I
I
don't
do.
like
it's,
it.
I mean, I don't like any of it either. But, okay, we're not gonna pay this person, we're not gonna pay this fee, we're not gonna pay this, we're not gonna pay that, we're not gonna pay this.
But
So what, I mean, where are we gonna go?
How much
I
will
mean,
we
we've gotta sit here and say, I don't care if it's $1,000 a month. That's $1,000 a month that we can pay somebody so we can have the beds, because if we're not paying Boundtree, they're just gonna cut us off and so we ain't gonna get nothing anyway.
Our personnel expenses are, our biggest expenses gone.
Oh, yeah.
That's the,
always,
Well, and that's the other thing, maybe my figures are all wrong, and I grant you, I didn't do them on a computer, and I just did them with my calculator. I'm coming up with $200,000 in payroll every year. And I think on our budget, it says 100 and,
all told is more than that.
well, yeah.
I don't have a budget, so.
the overtime always
No,
stands
that's-
out to me.
Big time.
I don't know, full-time medics, we got 147,213. I think that's real low.
Well, what you see under the FY17 actuals, that is your actual numbers.
If everything's actual, how come we're $80,000 in debt? These are your numbers. I mean, I didn't make the budget, we just approved it. We can just rubber stamping it
That's-
basically.
That's something that keeps coming up no, we've all seen these budgets, but if we're $80,000 in the hole, where's that 80,000? That's No, big question. I mean, is it in here somewhere? Or where is it? What?
Did it not come in? Is it actual, or is it accounts receivable?
And we've been sitting here talking about this since what? June,
What are you saying?
and we don't really have the answers.
What are you
that we
saying as
need.
far as payroll?
200 and something thousand. Well, how did this why does it say full-time medic, $147,213?
Then you
Now
gotta
then-
add
now
the
then-
overtime.
Now then add the overtime.
No, that was without overtime. I never added in overtime,
Well, you add in overtime, you get 225, 591.
but you get more than that. Cause I didn't add in the overtime, I just went at $23 an hour times the amount of hours in a year.
I don't know what to tell you, other than you still have this line item that's for PRN medics that you can add in, which is 37,000.
No, I've added one truck, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Maybe my figure, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a mathematician, and my figures may be wrong.
David, is there a way to
But there's-
schedule the personnel so they don't get overtime? We just change the schedule?
Then you gotta have a lot more
You
people,
gotta have more
take more
people.
bodies.
And that's our trouble, is getting.
And it's already difficult out here to find enough bodies as it is for what we pay.
Lucky to get what we get for what we pay. I mean, we got
That's-
quality, you know, I understand, we got quality medics, we don't pay that good, but unless somebody has a solution to our financial problems right now, I'm open.
Well, once-
I mean, this is what
What's that
this
third
is what
truck
I've
worth?
come up with. Then the other deal is returning the monitors and going, we have one Life Pack 12, if we have to, we'll purchase, cause I've seen them online, a second Life Pack 12, we can get them certified. And that's gonna say, we got 2 years, roughly 2 years left on the contract, it's gonna save about $16,000 per year.
I'm a little bit concerned about, you know, when we get that we're in a low right now, then we're gonna get the income, and then we're gonna get going like this and not be able to stop.
Well,
I don't know what month we can expect the greatest, ad valorem tax. Would that be like in
I would think January,
December?
because everybody's gonna try to pay their taxes the last day of
Yeah, so-
the year.
So probably we should.
So we'll get them in January.
But we should
Well,
start
they'll
getting
be
something.
available now, whether they're dispersed,
We'll get a little bit this month,